Hello, I'm Sarah Joyce Henson. This is a presentation of a project I'm working on at Career Foundry. It's a vocabulary learning application project. So let's jump right in. Meet my persona, David. He's 26 years old and is in Hamburg, Germany. He works as a junior web developer, and David is single. So here's more about David. David works as a full-time junior web developer, and after work he spends 2 hours in the gym. David enjoys watching movies and reading fictional novels. On the weekend, David visits and dines with his family. David also goes to church 2 times in a week. He recently moved to Hamburg from London, and David says, I quote, "Good communication is the key to success in life, work, and relationships. I also really love to express myself verbally." So here are his needs and goals. David needs an application to learn basic German. He needs to learn basic vocabulary, words, and phrases to communicate with colleagues at work. David needs to study with an interactive application during his free time. David is ready to devote 30 minutes every day to learn words and phrases via video lessons. And since David is a busy man, he needs to be reminded to study during the day. So here are the problems. Learning any new language can be difficult for a non-native speaker. Duolingo is aimed at improving the service offered to users by providing interactive video lessons and self-paced online language courses. He can get very busy with daily activities, therefore forgets to study. We will create an application with a reminder feature that enables him to set study reminders so he receives push notifications for studying. And here are the problem statements. David needs a way to study with an interactive video lessons that will present him a string of procedures in a comprehensive way that can be referenced again and again. This will allow him to understand the pronunciations of words better. David needs a study reminder that sends him push notifications during study times. This allows him to be alerted to resume studying. We will know this to be true when we see David being able to watch video lessons and set study reminders. So here are the challenges David faces. He says, I quote, "Productivity is the result of commitment to intelligent planning." So the first challenge is busyness. David gets busy with daily activities and has very little time to study. Secondly, video lessons. David learns better with interactive video lessons that show how to do something. Study urgency. David needs to begin studying German immediately for better communication at work. So I created user flows. Now the user flow takes the user from their entry point to complete a final action. And here the first task is to watch a video lesson. As we know it, user flows takes the user from the entry point, which is open app, to complete a final action, which is to watch a video lesson. The second user flow I created, as we know, the entry point is open app, and to set a study reminder, the final action. So it takes the user from the beginning to the end. Here's just a skeletal drawing of the user flow. And then I created low fidelity sketching for the first task, which takes the new user from the beginning till it goes through from the beginning, of course, the new user, so goes to a sign up page, signs up, and then goes to this screen where you select the language. What language do you speak, and what language do you want to learn? And then you click continue, and takes you to this screen where you select the level. So you select either you want to learn as a beginner, an intermediate, or advanced. And then you start, which automatically takes you to the home screen. And then the new user selects the videos and has to go from beginner to select what course and then select what lesson and then watches the video. This is the low fidelity sketching for the second test, which is set a study reminder. And it's the same application, therefore the splash and the onboarding process is basically the same. But then the new user selects profile and goes to reminders and then sets an alarm. I conducted usability test plans. There was a 15-minute long user test that was conducted with 3 participants to spot the red flags and errors that need to be corrected in the application prototype. The first task for the participants was to open the app and sign up as a new user. The second task was to watch video lessons as a beginner. The third task was to set a study reminder, and the fourth was to turn off the reminder. This are the report. After the user test was conducted, the users spotted a few errors and mistakes while they completed the task. In task 1, the user said the choice of the language option should come before the sign-in and the sign-up. The second task doesn't need any change. The third task, the participant said that it should include the date future. And the third, here it says icons should be labeled, so I'm supposed to label my icons. And here another participant says time and drop down arrow should both be linked to a clock. In the fourth task, to turn off the reminder, the participant says that the toggle button should be made visible. And so these are a set of reports that I have gathered from the participants. From the report, according to the usability report, I decided that I should make the following improvements these are the full improvements that will be made to the prototype. And so the first one will be to make the choice of the language option come before the sign in and sign up screens. So a user, that's the new user, will have to choose what language he or she speaks and what language he or she wants to learn, and then clicks continue, and then is brought to the sign in and sign up page. And the second improvement is that I'll have to label my icons that are in the button navigation for easy accessibility. And so not only should my video icons be labeled, but also the home and the add button, and then my profile icon. A third improvement I'm going to have to make is to include date and future and a reminder. And then so not only does the user see the time, but also the user sees a calendar, so he or she can choose between what dates he or she wants to learn. And also, a participant said I should link both the time and drop down arrow to the clock. So not only can the user select the arrow here to go to the clock, but also when the user selects the time here, he or she is linked to the clock to set the reminder. So here are a couple of codes from the participants. One said the toggle button and the toggle button and the off buttons on and off button make it very easy to access the reminder. So because I added toggle on and off button, it makes it very easy to turn off or turn on the reminder. Secondly, participant said, good thing the reminder icon is not on the page, so on the home page. So right immediately the users automatically refer to the home page, he or she doesn't see the reminder icon. The third code from one participant says the option to sign in or sign up with either Facebook or email makes the sign-in process even faster. So the fact that I included the social media and email uh, buttons makes sign-in and sign-up process even faster without you having to input a couple of other information. The next steps I plan to take with the prototype is making necessary adjustment to the prototype. Secondly, I'd like to conduct another usability test to know where exactly I have to make more corrections. Thirdly, I would like to include the delete and edit and add button to the reminder screen. I would also like to design an application according to the wireframes and create more screens and content. So here are a couple of things that I have learned from the entire process. Firstly, I learned that usability experience is indeed about solving user problems. And secondly, I learned how usability tests and influences the result of a successful application. So it means that you really do need the feedback from the users that can relate to the application that you want to test. Thirdly, I also learned how to sketch wireframes and prototypes. And fourth, I learned time discipline, which is very important. Also, I learned that I learned a couple of things from my tutor who gave me feedback on making specific corrections to my applications. And so I have really learned a lot so far, and looking forward to learn even more. So a very big thank you for watching, and looking forward to working and making even more corrections and improving the prototype and the entire process of the application. Thank you very much. God bless.